Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Just here to talk about some friggin' books. And this is hopefully gonna be short. I only actually have 4 books to talk about, but 2 are DNFs. And if you haven't seen my Twitter or my Instagram, then you're gonna be surprised and I'm probably gonna break your heart. Apologies in advance, but not really. You'll be fine. The first one I'm gonna talk about is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And this is probably real shiny. I don't wanna blind you guys. Is it blinding? So I started this in October, towards the end. I mean, it's only been like a week, but I started it in the end of October. And I have the physical book, but I started listening to the audiobook. I just wanted an audiobook. I heard this one was good, so I started listening to the audiobook. And you guys, I DNF'd it at about a little over 50%. It wasn't that it was bad or poorly written by any means. I mean, this is much beloved here on the booktubes and just in general. I think it's, winner of a prize for fiction, and I mean, it's gotten a lot of accolades. And it is well written. Like, the quality of the writing itself is good. I just was bored out of my effing mind. Like, it's very character driven. I like to get to know my characters, and I like to feel something for my characters. I like to be pulled in to their emotions, but I also need something to be happening. I think also it doesn't help that this is based on, mythology that we know, or it's very common mythology of Achilles, and I have taken mythology classes, read up on mythology. Like, I'm very familiar with the whole Battle of Troy and the story of Troy and all that stuff. And like with Achilles, I know how it's gonna end. Like, you know how most people would know how it's going to end, and that for some reason just kind of, I don't wanna say kills it, but it does. Like, I think it like puts up a stop for me to really get invested in these characters, because I'm like, I know already what is gonna happen. I get why people enjoy it, and if you can hang in there for a very character-driven story, then I'm sure you'll love this. 50% of the way through though, I was like, nah, I was trying. Like, I wanted to DNF it at about 25%, but I just was like, no, Joshana, push through. Like, everyone says how great it is. Maybe you'll end up liking it. No, it was just Patroclus pining away for Achilles, obsessing about Achilles, being madly in love with and like adoring Achilles. And like, okay, you guys are gonna stone me in the streets. Then I started, also in the end of October, a buddy read with Nashua over at the Neon Page. I'll link her down below. And yeah, we started doing a buddy read of a book that I got from the library and I took back already, and that is Strange the Dreamer. I'll throw it up. And we started this and we were just reading like 40-ish pages a day. And again, I did not hate this book, but I got to about 50% of the way through and I DNF'd it. I DNF'd Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I went into it, I was very hopeful because of all the positive things that I hear about Strange the Dreamer all the time. Like, people love this book. I mean, not just like, oh yeah, it was good. Like, so many people I see are like, new favorite book of all time. So I was like, fucking cool. Maybe I'll really like, because Laini Taylor's other series that I have read, the trilogy, The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I hear people speak about it in a positive way, but I never really had heard anyone gush and say it's their favorite thing ever, right? And I DNF'd the 3rd book of that series. By that 3rd chunker of a book, I was like, we are dragging this shit out. And I DNF'd it at like 60%. So I was a little hesitant, but also I was like, okay, the way everybody talks about Strange the Dreamer, I feel like maybe her writing style, that like, I do enjoy the lyricism of her writing. Like, maybe it was honed better because that series was written first, so like maybe she got a little more succinct and whatever. No. She does this thing, for me, Laini Taylor's writing, does this thing where it's like all this buildup and being super vague, super mysterious. Like, it's so dramatic. and just hype, mystery. And then when the big reveal happens, I'm disappointed. I'm like, that, okay. Like, sure, that's like not good, but it's not the most dramatic thing I've ever heard of. It's not all that terrible. And it happened, like, it's a consistent thing she does, this like ploy of, I'm gonna be very vague and mysterious and make things sound very dramatic, and then building you up to this reveal, and it's like there's too much buildup. That tension doesn't get released for me because it's like all this tension built up, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So what I did is I was at about 50 to 55%. I just skipped ahead to like the final 15% of the book, and then I just skimmed that. So I know how it ends because I'm the worst. I'm sorry, okay? But I'm not. Her writing just isn't for me. I completely understand why a lot of people enjoy it. It just didn't do it for me. And like I feel like when it happens, when I DNF like a super popular book, I don't want people to think that I'm just like some negative Nancy and I don't like shit. Like, there's lots of books I really like and I love. And I mean, you guys hear me yammer on about different series that I'm just like, love it so much, so great. But yeah, every now and then it just happens where I'm like, I never ever would go into a book expecting to hate it. There's books where I'm like, this could go either way, I don't know. But I'm never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking hate this. Let's read it. No. Like, when people are saying these books are their favorite books of all time, I'm like, oh fuck, that's such a great feeling. Like, I love that feeling. I hope I get it. Like, I hope I get that feeling when I read this book. I want that. As avid bookworms, we're all always searching for that high of, holy shit, I love this book so much, I just want to talk about it. So I went into these books expecting or hoping to feel the same way, and I just didn't. And you guys know, like I said, I'm an avid DNFer. If I get 50% of the way through a book and I'm like slogging through it, I don't see the point in wasting more time. The next book I read was The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kiersten White. And first of all, can we just admire this freaking gorgeous, it's like shimmery, pearly pink, and it's like embossed, like you can feel all these like scars, you can like feel them in the stitching and everything. And so I have actually never read Frankenstein itself, which is probably kind of lame and whatever, but I love Kiersten White's the trilogy Anti Darken, as you guys know. So I wanted to check this out. Sounded pretty cool and I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. It had some creepy parts that were a little like, ooh, eerie, chills, you know? But it's not like terrifying or anything like that. And it's very interesting. So we have a character named Elizabeth who goes to live with the Frankenstein family. Victor Frankenstein being the son, the oldest son of this family. And Victor Frankenstein is Dr. Frankenstein from the original Frankenstein book. And basically Elizabeth is kind of like an orphaned child and she's living in squalor with this caretaker that's just the worst. At the very, very beginning of the book, you're introduced to her and her story, and the Frankenstein family takes her in basically as a way to try to control Victor, because from a very young age his parents can see that not everything is right upstairs. He's a little bit sadistic, he's a little temperamental, and Elizabeth is very good at keeping him even-keeled. For me, my favorite thing about this was the characters. They were just very complex and interesting. Elizabeth in particular, I mean, she's our main character. It's about her and her experience. I mean, right on the back here it says, make them love you. So Elizabeth feels a lot of insecurity in her place in the world in general. She never had anything. She is afraid that she will get like tossed out on her ass, basically, if she does not prove herself to be useful. And she has a very, very complicated, weird relationship with Victor. They love each other. They have a very close bond. But how much of it is genuine is up for debate. From her end, anyway. And she's just very good at charming people. She's very good at being what people need her to be. And she's a chameleon in that way, and it's a survival instinct. And there's very few people that she genuinely cares about. And she just was so interesting to me. And Victor, his feelings toward her, and his relationship with her, and just him in general, like, he's a whole mess. I'll just say that. Yeah, I just really liked this book in general, overall, and it was a quick read. It's not, like I said, it's not too huge. On my 1 to 10 scale, I gave this an 8, which translates to 4.5 pushinicorns. And that's that. And then I did a reread of a very, very quick read. I'm currently listening to Born a Crime by Trevor Noah on audiobook, just like when I'm in my car. And then I'm trying to get through my TBR, my owned TBR, and I picked up Amberlow. And it's a struggle right now, you guys. But I'm just taking my time with it. I'm working through it. But because of that, I know that's going to take me a hot minute. And Born a Crime is taking me a hot minute. So I decided to read The Vile Village by Lemony Snicket. I love a series of unfortunate events, but I've been kind of rereading them slowly throughout the last year. This one is book 7. Super quick read, enjoyable as always. I fucking love this series. It's so funny, you guys. It's so funny. It's this all the time. Without anything else on the flat land to blow up against, the wind concentrated its efforts on Violet. A phrase which here means that before long, her hair was so wildly tangled that it looked like it had never seen a comb. This constant, a phrase which here means, and I love it. It's just their whole world is filled with bumbling idiot adults. The whole series is just, look how stupid adults are. And I just love it. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 7.3, which is 4 pushinicorns. And that's all for now. Just those 4 books that I probably kind of talked about for a long time. Sorry. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my links down below for social media and all that fun stuff. As always, thank you for your time, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.